I'm Courtney Taylor, and I do OF for a living.
OnlyFans. You got like 1 million followers or something?
2 million.
We have new developments in the OnlyFans model murder case.
Hello.
Huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Do me a favor. I want you to stay right where you are, okay? What's happening?
What'd you say?
What's happening?
What?
What's happening?
Oh, nothing.
They have uncovered text messages from Courtney Clenney's parents discussing hacking the victim's laptop.
Did you throw a bottle at him or a glass at him? You say you're gonna
Yes.
report.
Yes.
I want a restraining order against Christian and Kelly.
I don't feel that I should be getting arrested at all right now.
You look like the type of girl that only dates like rich guys. Is that true?
Let me clarify. I only date rich black guys.
Rich black guys. There we go.
Have you ever been in a toxic relationship? If you've had the displeasure of experiencing one, whether it's an ex-friend, an ex-lover, or an ex-boss, you know that there are very low lows, but there can also be some very high highs. This is Courtney Clenney and Christian Abumseli, a young, fit, stylish couple living a fast-paced life in Miami, and for them, there were a lot of high highs. Shopping sprees, sports cars, weekend trips to Aspen, and also a fair amount of drugs. When I said high highs, yeah, I meant that literally. Courtney Clenney, also known as Courtney Taylor on her Instagram, where she has over 2 million followers, had a reputation as a party girl, and she already had racked up 2 charges in her home state of Texas for DWIs at ages 18 and 25.
Hello.
Huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Do me a favor. I want you to stay right where you are, okay? What's happening?
What'd you say?
What's happening?
What?
What's happening?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? Do you know where you are right now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, where are you?
Where am I?
Yes. Dear, where are you right now, dear?
What'd you say?
Where are you right now?
Where am I?
Yes.
Now, their lifestyle was mostly financed by Courtney's very successful OnlyFans account, while Christian was a former college football player at Abilene Christian University in Dallas, Texas, who had pivoted post-graduation to being an entrepreneur and was a self-described young black professional, which for Christian meant investing in crypto, among other things. Now, the Austin nightlife scene in the second half of 2020 is a phrase that should raise a few eyebrows, because if you remember, there was a little thing called the virus, remember that thing? Well, regardless, that's allegedly when and where Courtney and Christian first met, and according to a mutual friend, the pair became very close very quickly, which we'll talk about that red flag later. But from the outside, they were the picture-perfect Instagram couple, but in real life, friends noticed a disturbing dynamic between Courtney and Christian during group outings that often ended in screaming matches. Yeah.
Yes, and I am so sorry. So shut up and let me slap you.
You're not gonna slap me.
Give me my phone.
You have your phone.
I don't have it anymore.
Tumultuous doesn't even begin to describe their relationship. Like when Courtney showered Christian with lavish gifts thanks to her OnlyFans income, like buying him an all-new set of Louis Vuitton luggage, but only because she had tossed his old luggage off the apartment balcony. Yeah. Tumultuous. But somehow, in spite of all of this, in January 2022, the couple decided that it was time to take the next step. And Christian moved into One Paraíso, Courtney's luxury high-rise apartment on the Miami waterfront, which, by the way, cost $10,000 a month in rent. Like, holy shit. Little bits. And they had lived together for almost 4 months when a tragedy struck that would change the lives of the couple living in the apartment 2201 forever, as those high highs were all about to come crashing down to the lowest lows. But first, oh hi, hello, it's Swoop, and welcome to the dark waters of the Suspool, the place where everything and everyone is sus, or is it us? Come on in, the water's fine. Welcome back, Suspirians. I hope you're ready to get into the details of this case. Like, this story is absolutely wild and so shocking and got so much like deeper and darker than I ever anticipated when I was first looking into this. So just brace yourself for that. If you're new here, and there's a lot of new people here, welcome, thank you for joining us. This is my second channel. On my main channel, Swoop, I do full-length deep dives, and over here we take smaller dips into the dark waters of bizarre, twisted, sus stories while trying to figure out who or what belongs in the sus pool. So My dear Suspirians, feel free to guess along with us in the comments about where this story might be headed, and if it's what the outcome you think is going to happen. You almost guarantee it's not going to be what you think, but as the story unfolds, let's find out together what is going on and why. And if you're into mind-bending, dark, or twisted tales, we get into spooky stories sometimes, subscribe to this channel, bring a towel, and go ahead and flirt with the like button. You can give her some flowers and tickle the bottoms of her feet so she gives you a giggle. She really likes that. Okay, we're gonna dive face first into this, but first, I have a quick question. How do you sleep at night? Yeah, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. No, seriously, how are you actually sleeping at night? I don't know about you, but for most of my life, I slept like trash. It took me forever to fall asleep. I would toss and turn all freaking night, and that mixed with chronic back and neck pain. Honey, you did not want to wake up next to me in the morning. But my sleep has honestly never been better since I've been sleeping with my Helix sleep mattress for over 2 years now. So another huge thank you to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video. They've been a huge supporter of our community, and I just love them so much. Their Labor Day sale is running now, and it's a great time to upgrade your mattress. You can get 25% off your purchase for a limited time, so check out the Helix site for more details. So Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped right to your door. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique fiberglass-free mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, the Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattress designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. Every body is different, and Helix knows that, so they made a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. And if you sleep with a partner, take the quiz together. You'll find the perfect match for both of you. Now, I personally am a back and side sleeper, and I feel better with a medium firmness mattress, and based on my results, Helix matched me with their dreamy Midnight Luxe mattress, and I upgraded it with the Glaciotex cooling cover, which keeps me cool and comfy all night long. It literally is a dream. My sleep has, without question, been the best it's ever been my entire life. Like, my sleep tracker literally says so, and most importantly, my body says so. Like, waking up less stiff in the morning is everything to me, and after 2 years, my mattress looks and feels just like it did on day one. Y'all, I love my Helix mattress so much that I literally got one for my mom, who also has chronic pain and fibromyalgia. Like, I would never get her something that I didn't fully believe in, and she is sleeping so much better, which makes me so, so happy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's fantastic. The best part about all of this is that Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the US. The mattress comes rolled up in a box and is super easy to set up yourself. Like, seriously, I went to so many mattress stores in person and I hated it. So getting this online was the easiest decision ever. And like, maybe the coolest part, if it makes you nervous to buy something that you haven't tried, Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and they offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. I love my Helix mattress so much, and I think you will too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix Sleep. Their Labor Day sale is running right now. It is the perfect time to upgrade your sleep with 25% off a Helix mattress. Click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/swoop2 to find out more about this limited time offer and treat yourself, honey. You deserve it. Okay, let's dip in to the Suspool. A relationship between a former bikini model and a former college football player kind of sounds like something straight out of a Gossip Girl spin-off show, but it didn't take too long for some major red flags to start flying for these lovers. Like the time in August of 2021 when Courtney and Christian took a trip with their friends to Palm Springs, California, where another influencer allegedly witnessed Courtney beating on Christian and pushing him. Why? Courtney thought Christian was looking at another woman, allegedly, an accusation that would become a common theme in the relationship and a frequent reason for their fights. And the fighting wasn't limited just to Palm Springs. Like, friends mentioned that on multiple occasions, Courtney hit Christian while they were out as a group in downtown Austin, and sometimes the couple would disappear mid-outing only to be discovered in a private fight. So here's some words from a friend. Quote, "They would leave and we'd go looking for them. We were always kind of worried about what was happening or if it was escalating. saying, there was one time I pulled up and they were in a car alley and she was hitting him as I walked up. Yeah, out the gate, it's bad. And remember, this is very short amount of time that they've been together. Like one night, Courtney even pushed Christian down a set of stairs at an apartment party in full view of other party guests. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, did anybody say anything? Was anybody gonna step in? Because again, let's get the perspective really quick. We're talking about a young, attractive woman who's doing this to a fit former football player guy. It's like not the typical thing that people think they're used to seeing, right? But yeah, as we're gonna learn, abuse doesn't care about gender roles. Now, allegedly, this girl had no shame when it came to harming on her man in public or in private, and often in front of witnesses. Now, another of their favorite topics to square off about, money. I know, shocking, right? People arguing about money. But Courtney's lucrative OnlyFans account was reportedly supporting both of their lifestyles, and she began to use Christian as her de facto assistant in the work, but she didn't want to pay him or share her money with him in that regard. So kind of getting the free labor here, right? Christian managed her schedule and helped out during photo shoots and supposedly earned a percentage through Courtney's management companies. So it's kind of hard to say whether or not he was fairly compensated without more details, but one thing is certain, Courtney was calling the shots, and gender factors aside, held a lot of the power in this relationship, the way it appears. Now, during public fights, Christian would, quote, kind of just stand there like a stick figure. He would just stand there and take it. If she put her hands on him, he would never put his hands back on her. I don't even think he would try to stop her from hitting him. Now, friends of the couple say that Courtney's heavy drinking contributed to her violent behavior and that she threatened others jokingly in the past, as if alcohol is an excuse for being violent and threatening. Newsflash, it's not. But she would jokingly, they were saying even was jabbing a pair of scissors at someone, which I'm sorry, but I'm just who in the thinks that jabbing scissors at someone is a joke. Especially when you see that this is allegedly how they are treating their partner in public. So now the Palm Springs incident that I mentioned at the beginning of this video was only the tip of the iceberg. And after 8 long months, which is really, those are short months, but also very long months, the tension between Courtney and Christian was building to a major nasty fight and would lead to Courtney catching a domestic battery charge. Yeah.
I decided to call because we were getting really loud. It wasn't because I was scared or anything. You wouldn't hurt me.
Did you throw a bottle at him or a glass at him? You said you've done it before.
Yes.
The cop examines the condition of their room. It's a wreck.
There's the glass cup.
I don't feel that I should be getting arrested at all right now.
She's put in manacles.
Is this a overnight ordeal?
12-hour hold.
12-hour hold?
The couple was staying at the Cosmopolitan Casino in Las Vegas when she hurled a glass at him while he was trying to sleep because he didn't want to sleep in the bed. He wanted to sleep on the couch. So she threw a glass at him. You're thinking the same. Yeah, we're on the same page here. Now, sadly, like many toxic and abusive relationships, the domestic battery charge wasn't enough for either of them to end the relationship. But now it was on record that this relationship was dangerous. I'm talking knives out and not in the joking jabbing of the scissors kind of way. So any guesses where this story is about to go next? It's going to escalate very quickly, then we're gonna maybe pull back a little bit, maybe, and then it's going to get much, much worse. It was October of 2021. Most people would be using their kitchen knives to carve pumpkins for Halloween, but not Courtney. Oh, no, not Courtney. Courtney decided one night to take a knife and aimed right for her partner, Christian, literally stabbing him in the leg. Yeah, I told you, this escalates quickly. And it gets worse. Now, the injury to the leg was not fatal, but I can imagine it hurt like a freaking bitch. Right? And I would have to imagine that would be quite shocking to Christian. I mean, can you imagine being in this relationship? Number one, if you're in a relationship, anything remotely like this, please, if you can safely get out, please get out. But him, allegedly enduring the physical, the hitting, but maybe not thinking that it would ever escalate to a literal knifing. I mean, people just, you don't think that things could go there, right? It's not Yeah. Now, we can't be sure what led up to this stabbing or if they were fighting or if this was like out of nowhere, if she was, you know, drinking or whatever, because a police report was never made, which is unfortunately all too common with DV for like a million of different reasons. We're not going to place any shame or blame on anyone for not reporting this. So our only evidence of this incident comes directly from text exchanges between Courtney and Christian that night and in the days following the knifing.
Hopefully, this will give you time to think about your actions. Enjoy the hospital. Tell them your side, then I'll tell them what happened.
I'm not saying anything.
LMAO. You should.
I'm going now. I'ma say football incident.
And then leave me the alone. Okay? Have fun?
Baby, can you come with me? I lost a lot of blood.
Let me know how it goes. See you later.
I really hope you didn't cheat on me, Courtney. I really hope so. I'm so scared. I don't know where the you are. And you slept or you're somewhere else at 4 in the morning and you don't contact me? I was in the hospital looking forward to seeing you and you go drink and leave with someone? When your boyfriend is passed out on the bed getting stitched up because I lost too much blood?
I love you so much, Christian. I should have been at the hospital with you, and I should have slept next to you as I always have. I'm truly, genuinely sorry that my actions hurt you so deeply. That was not my intention. But it's reality, and I have to do what I can to make it right. I don't think something like that deserves a second chance, but if you do stick around, I think we can be happy and make each other happy if we just try harder. I don't think either of us wants to do life without the other person. I'm so sorry and have deep regret for putting you and us in this position.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but just going by these texts, Courtney stabbed Christian, told him to report it, laughed at him when he said he wasn't going to say anything, and then while he's like literally bleeding and getting stitched up in the hospital, she goes out and possibly cheats on him, or like it's a little like fuzzy on like figuring this out. Like, was she saying that like, was it like she cheated on him before? Did she cheat on him after she leaves with someone while he's in the hospital? I just like, am I reading this right? I think I am. Am I reading this right? No, again, like here's the thing, you know, we gotta reel it in a little bit. These are just messages with little context, right? We can't paint an entire picture from just these texts. Yes, we have witnesses from previous fights saying that she repeatedly would hit him and that Christian just, you know, stood there like a stick figure. So if we're only going to go by that, then this looks like an ongoing DV situation where Christian is the victim trapped in a relationship with a serial abuser and a dangerous one at that. So far, we know that Courtney was making the bulk of the money in the relationship, right? Courtney was physically aggressive multiple times, and Courtney literally stabbed his leg and allegedly cheated. So it looks like Courtney is at the top of the power dynamic in this relationship and at the top of the Suspool list, right? Let me know in the comments right now, what do you think? And of course, like I hinted a little bit earlier, I can't help but think like if the roles were reversed and Christian was seen hitting Courtney many times by friends and the stare incident, like doing these things in public and their friends are seeing it, random people in public are seeing it, and then she shows up at the hospital with a knife wound to the leg, and then he went out and cheated while she was getting stitches. What do you think people's immediate reaction would be? I mean, look at the two of them. Look at them right now. Like, what do you think people's reaction if all of these claims were against him doing it to her? Now, if we go off the current information that she is the abuser, it's easy to ask why Christian didn't just leave. But therein lies the very effed up element to the cycle of abuse in these types of relationships. Like, you know, I should know I've survived it. A lot of things can happen mentally to someone on the receiving end of abuse, right? Like we know this. We just have a way of justifying things in our head. It's almost like it's a coping mechanism. It's often a way to survive what's happening. And sometimes you're not even processing what's happening to you. You know, you just kind of convince yourself like, oh, it's not that bad, or I deserve this, or like who's going to love me anyways? This is the best that I'm going to get, or I can't leave because I'll have nothing. If I try to leave, they might try to find me and hurt me worse. Like there's just a million different things that can go on through your head in these situations. And sometimes in your head, you think the good parts of the relationship outweigh the bad, and so you end up staying, right? Here's some words directly from Christian. Quote, "The crazy thing about all of this is that yesterday when you effing stabbed me in the effing leg and you saw how effing bad it was hurting me and I couldn't effing walk, I couldn't do And you were telling me, I wish I could take your pain away. I wish it was me and not you. The next morning, I still woke up happy, even though my leg was hurting because my girlfriend stabbed me. I took you to Vegas to get your blank, drove right back, drank with you, did blow you with you just so you're having a great day. And I'm doing all this while my leg hurts so effing bad. Honestly, with just this information, my heart breaks for Christian in this situation. Like, how, this is all we have to go by. So like, how could my heart not break? You know, because it's clear that he's not just physically injured, but mentally destroyed at this point in the relationship, to where he's like, well, you know, how wild is it? He said, crazy is it that you did this, you stabbed, like you did this to my leg, and I still woke up happy because like at least like I'm with you and I still do these things to like make you happy. And then thinking about her telling him, I wish it was me instead of you. Like, that's a level of manipulation that is just like actually kind of so mind-blowing. It's just kind of baffling to me that someone would like literally take a knife and do this and then say, oh, I wish it was me instead of you. I wish I was going through the pain instead of you. It's like, bitch, you did this, and now you're acting like, oh, I wish I was the one suffering. I like somehow your mental anguish over this is worse than his. Like that's wild. You can then see evidence of what I believe is Courtney shifting into what's called the reconciliation phase, which then leads to the calm honeymoon phase of the cycle of abuse. Quote, otherwise known as the I'll never do that again stage. This part of the cycle is where your abuser apologizes for the abuse. They may beg forgiveness or feign remorse. Most often they blame the victim for provoking the abuse and or deny that the abuse even happened. Or maybe in Courtney's case, she says, I wish it was me instead of you.
I love you so much, Christian. I should have been at the hospital with you, and I should have slept next to you as I always have. I'm truly, genuinely sorry that my actions hurt you so deeply. That was not my intention. But it's reality, and I have to do what I can to make it right.
Alternatively, they may minimize the abuse, claiming that the abuse wasn't as bad as the victim made it out to be. You start to wonder if you're actually crazy. Interesting word, being that he used that word. Like your abuser may have told you countless times before. This questioning leaves you feeling even more disconnected. And here's the thing, how do you think Miss Courtney apologizes to him the next day after he's stitched up and released from the hospital? By smashing her cell phone into Christian's head and smacking him with her hands as she locked him out of their Vegas hotel room, forcing him to sleep on the cold, hard bathroom floor. This is literally while he's still healing from the previous attack. Here's a message. Can I come back up? I've been in the restroom. My nose is bleeding and the back of my head hurts, like really hurts. I don't know if it was your hand or the phone, but I'm really dizzy. This poor guy is like begging and pleading for her help after she allegedly assaulted him. And how does she respond? Quote, I'm putting your stuff up. You can come get it when I say you can. It was one thing when I was like, writing that out, but like reading that out loud right now is just so intense. Like, you can come get it when I say you can is such a power statement. It is such a power move. It is such a controlling statement. You can do when I say you can. After he's what? He's bleeding. He's dizzy. He might be concussed at this point. Is so like, it's so stark. The unhinged display of absolute power and control over her victim is so incredibly troubling. So Christian sent repeated texts saying that his head hurt. He was dizzy. He couldn't see straight. He felt nauseous and anxious, even trying to bargain that he didn't need to sleep in the bed, just on their hotel room couch. Like, it hurt to go up and down the stairs of their hotel room from the restroom. He was taking refuge in, probably because Christian still had a big ass stab wound in his leg from the day before. And it's just like, it's just nasty. This is just nasty stuff going on. Like, some people just really, just shouldn't be out in society, if you ask me. Again, this is just the initial look of what's going on so far, but it's hard for me to not have that opinion. Now, what Courtney does next is textbook big bad gaslighting, coercive, controlling behavior. Quote, well, I'm really sorry, Christian. I hope you're okay. I'm sorry for hitting you in the face and the back of your head and spitting on you. Is it right? No. You just piss me the F off, but I still love you. There it is. There's that cycle that we were talking about earlier. There is the alleged abuser blaming the victim, right? You piss me off, but I still love you. Is it right what I did? Spitting? To get to the place where you're spitting on someone, like hitting and all of those things is one subset of evil. And then spitting is like, it's just like another dimension of up, in my opinion. I'm not saying that spitting is like worse. I'm just saying it's a different kind of twisted. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of up. And so she's doing this and then saying, well, because you make me so mad, you make me so frustrated, you piss me off, but I still love you, so you're welcome. Also, you can come up when I say you can. Like, that's just wild behavior. And I'm just like, were people in their lives, did they know this extent of it? Again, I'm not gonna like blame anyone for doing or not doing anything, but like, did they know this extent of it? And if they did they try to intervene? And if they didn't, was it because of the genders? Like, I just like, this is such a wild, yeah. So anyways, let me get back to it. There was another text from Courtney a few hours later, same incident, a few hours later, after some sleep and, maybe some sobering up. Quote, I just read these texts and I'm truly very sorry for responding like that while you were in pain. So now this is remember the reconciliation, and it's gonna head into like the honeymoon phase. Usually it follows up with like love bombing and stuff. I should have let you in clearly. I didn't realize you might have a mild concussion. I should have just come back with the medicine. I love you. I'll be back soon. So it sounds like she's not even on the premises. She like left. And now the switch up in her attitude could have been elevated by alcohol. Maybe yes, but do I care? No, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to use that as an excuse to behave like this. I think it's also an example of how Courtney's continued display of dominance, right? And how she maintained control over the relationship. Simmer until she explodes all over Christian and then isolate him while he's literally bleeding or concussed and scared, anxious, panicking, and leave him begging for you to help. And then the next day, the love bombing begins. You make me so mad, but I love you. I'm so sorry, but I love you. I'll be back in a little bit. And by the way, like if love bombing is a new phrase for you, like here's a quick explainer from health.com. Quote, love bombing is a type of emotional abuse in which someone uses grand gestures to manipulate another person. A love bomber may bomb you with gifts, compliments, and affection, but these actions are not done out of kindness. A person uses love bombing instead to make a friend, partner, or loved one dependent on them so they can control the relationship. Now, I know that love bombing is kind of become a bit of a trendy word that people are just like kind of throwing around everywhere. Like they say trauma bond, like incorrectly. I've seen people use like love bombing kind of incorrectly. Sometimes people will be like, oh, well, they gave me a gift and said, I love you and took me to dinner. But then, a year later we broke up. See how they love bomb me at the beginning by taking me to dinner? And it's like, that's not love bombing. That's pretty standard, generic, regular thing that happens in most relationships, especially in the early phases. Love bombing is actually a very strategic, manipulative tactic used intentionally and maliciously to control somebody and to have control over them throughout the relationship. It's a much more extreme thing than I think some people think about it as. So just thought we'd say that. And so in this story, Courtney held a lot of the money, the power, and made the decisions. She paid for the expensive apartment and the trips and allegedly the drugs. And basically, like if she was going to strike Christian, according to witnesses, he was going to take it. If she was going to take a knife to him, he was going to be underhandedly threatened to not report it or mocked, and I dare you to report it. And if she said he was to sleep on the cold bathroom floor with a concussion, guess where he was going to sleep? And then come the gifts, the apologies, the I wish I could take your pain away. And it worked every time because she maintained control of Christian. As much as I want to say things got better, it didn't. There was a time when Courtney was on tape threatening to hit him.
What is going on? Like, are you gonna get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you?
And then she called him a racial slur. Listen, like, I don't even know if I have the energy to analyze the long documented history of the fetishization of black men or the other massive power dynamic that Courtney has over Christian as a white woman. Like, I get it. I know that not everyone wants to think about it. Not everyone wants to think about like race stuff, but yeah, like one call from a white woman to the police, maybe lying, saying the black man did literally anything at all, and he might not live to see another day. That is a fear that in particular black men have on a daily basis. Like, we all remember the bird watching Karen, right? Yeah, Karen, you learned a lesson, didn't you?
Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
There is an African-American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
Could that have been part of her condescending tone when she was like, I dare you, go ahead, tell the police that I stabbed you? Like, who are they going to believe, the black man or the white woman? Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it's possible that was part of it. Like, we'll never know for sure, but hearing her free use of the slurs is quite telling, isn't it? She was obviously aware of that element of power dynamic happening here. Or what about the time that Courtney attacked Christian in the elevator of their Miami apartment? To just kind of like recap without getting graphic, Christian literally does what that friend said. Like, he mostly is just like a stick figure. I mean, he's like kind of ducking and dodging, and sometimes like he tries to get her out of the way. So I don't mean like stick figure in a condescending way at all. I mean, like, he literally tries to mitigate this whole incident, and they're just alone. I don't know that they're thinking that there's cameras or anything. Like, they are alone in this. So this is an example of how he behaved when she was doing this when they were alone. And he did not hit back. Like, he is incredibly restrained and nonviolent here. Like, I don't know if someone was doing that to me in a confined space of an elevator. Are you kidding me? No period. And definitely no in an elevator. But she just keeps going. And then there was the Aspen incident. During a content trip to Aspen, Courtney is upset with Christian for talking with another woman, which he denies. She also blames Christian for being the reason that she broke sobriety, which, as my friends in recovery have said, sobriety is between you and the bottle, but it is worth acknowledging that, yeah, Christian's behavior, of course, wasn't perfect. No human being's behavior is perfect. And sometimes he would engage during the fights, but it's not to the same degree as Courtney at all. And then, of course, if you're looking at the way that this relationship appears to have been playing out thus far, then one would just classify that as Christian being reactive, right? There's the primary aggressor, and then there's the reactive response from the victim. Like, if you take the cruel way Courtney talks to him, calling him dumb, telling him to shut up, but then you're fired? Like,
come on, baby. Okay. That doesn't even sound right.
Christian, you're fired.
Like, did you fire him as your boyfriend, or as your personal punching bag, allegedly, or as your employee? Like, again, remember the other power dynamic at play? Courtney technically, reluctantly, is also Christian's employer. Like, she not only holds her bag, but she holds his bag, and she holds the living situation. So, like, is that what she's firing him from? Like, she no longer wants to pay her live-in servant, I mean assistant, I mean boyfriend.
Looking great, babe.
Okay, you need to go a little lower, please. Lower. Lower!
Wow, babe, this looks amazing.
God, I'm gonna hire someone else.
And please don't think that I didn't catch her calling him boy in there. Yeah.
Okay. Come on, boy.
She's not ignorant. We all know that boy has been used as a racist, threatening, derogatory term directed particularly at black men since like the dawn of time, as a way of infantilizing them and diminishing their power or personhood and keeping them in line, literally back to slave days. We can't totally know in what sense Courtney was using it here, but it just kind of leaves a nasty bitch ass taste in my mouth if I'm being real, which I'm being real. So yeah, blah. Now, before we continue, I'm going to read a lengthy text that Christian sent to Courtney that in many ways has me wondering if somehow in his gut, Christian somehow subconsciously knew how this story was going to end. Quote, "Just letting you know, I woke up feeling like and feeling stupid. Not like stupid as in our relationship, but stupid as in like what I told you the other day, is love going to kill me? Like, I know both of us have sacrificed a lot for each other, but I can only talk about what I sacrificed. I have sacrificed my pride and my ego, sometimes telling myself how I don't need to win. Hey, just let her have her way. Say sorry right now and mean it even if she asks you to sincerely or with a threat. I have been there for you plenty times, more than I can even imagine, more than anybody else that could think at. I've cried with you, cried about you, and I cried against you. But at the end of the day, it was all for love. And that is why I'm saying, do you see that? My love for you. Do you actually really feel it? Do you actually understand it? Do you even think it's real? I'm going through all of this and I don't do this anymore. I stopped 2 months ago, but I'm going through this while paying for my grandma's hospital bills. Like, imagine that. Like, I honestly feel like my face feels the front and back. I always think about, damn man, okay, Christian, you took all this, why? Because you love her? Okay. Time after time after time after time, I tell you, hey, please, like, you're hurting me. And yes, you'll say yeah, but then it just repeats. Like, what if the knife sliced my lip and it wasn't sliced by my beard, my cheek, my eye? What might happen next time? Pray there is no next time like that. Courtney, on body cam footage from the Miami Police Department on April 1st, 2022, is telling officers that she wants a restraining order against Christian for his alleged abusive behaviors.
I feel like I am.
All right, so what do you want to say?
I want to be like, I want to be like exonerated, I guess, of like anything wrong. And I want him, okay, the police are here. I want a restraining order against Christian Gonzalez.
I don't issue those.
Because, no, I'm serious.
Courts.
Can I do that?
You have to go to court. You have to go to downtown.
How can I make myself first? Because I know him and he would do it. How can I make myself first?
You gotta get there first.
175 Northwest first.
Before
175 Northwest.
Is he already on the way?
We have no idea. We don't even know how it looks like.
We don't even know who he is. How do we know that?
One of their friends back in Austin had previously asked Courtney if Christian had ever harmed her, and Courtney denied it. But that night, officers noticed bruises on her arms and legs. So what is the story here? What is going on? Are these bruises from Christian trying to hurt her? Are they from Christian trying to restrain her, like we saw in the elevator when she was striking him and he tried to like keep her arms at her side so she couldn't keep striking him and like move her out of the way? And you know, so we have all these questions. So here, Courtney claims that Christian threw her to the ground and that she wanted him out of her apartment, along with a request for a restraining order.
Who's on the phone with you?
Just my dad.
Okay, well, let me explain to you something with your dad on the phone so you could hear me. You asked me, how can I get a restraining order against him? I answer you, we don't issue those. That's through court. You asked me, I need to get one before him. I told you, the only way is for you to get to court. And then you asked me, is he on the way already? And I asked you, I don't even know how he looks like. You understand? Your questions are making much of an...
I am... Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but like right now, I'm a freaking victim in the situation.
Now, while we have 2020 hindsight that Courtney has seemingly perpetuated the abuse and the power dynamic in her relationship, she even says, right now, I have not always been the victim, but right now, I am the victim in this situation.
Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but like right now, I'm a freaking victim in the situation.
Which, again, if we're thinking about primary aggressor and reactive, if she is saying, I'm not always the victim, then would that imply that she has been the aggressor? Therefore, if there was an incident where Christian did something here, and that's a big if because we don't know, then would that have just been classified as reactive, right? Again, lots of things to think about. But the thing is, maybe if the police had looked into this further, maybe they could have prevented what was about to happen next.
3101.
I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am, my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
Please, God, please. Baby, I'm so sorry. If he has a stab wound to his shoulder.
What do you mean he has a stab wound on his shoulder, ma'am?
Courtney can be heard on that frantic 911 call telling the operator that her boyfriend has been stabbed in the shoulder. But what she doesn't seem to tell them is that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, left that right out. And this obviously isn't the first time that she stabbed him. The wild part about all of this, aside from the fact that she stabbed him again, is that Courtney didn't even give them the apartment number, just the address of the apartment complex. It was actually the 911 operator who put together that the apartment number of the DV call from 2 days earlier, might be the same location, which is just horrifying. Imagine if they couldn't, math there and figure out what apartment this even was. But by the time the EMTs got to the apartment, Christian had lost a lot of blood, and he was immediately taken for medical care while the police began to question Courtney about how all of this happened.
You can get up right now.
Why you have to keep him upright? Guys,
Relax.
Why? No, guys.
Relax.
Sit down.
He's not dead, is he?
We don't.
No, they're taking him to the hospital right now.
He's in the hospital right now.
I need to be at the hospital with him.
You're not going in.
Why?
Because we're conducting an investigation.
This was an awful scene, and sadly, Christian did not survive this time. He lost his life at the hands of his girlfriend. He was only 27 years old. But what is Courtney worried about? Looking crazy.
Okay, well, listen, the detectives are coming. You're gonna talk to them, and then you're gonna explain your side.
But I'm gonna be covered in I look crazy.
Just to not be graphic, I'm gonna blur stuff out, of course. She immediately jumps to telling the police officers, oh, it was self-defense. And when she hears the word homicide, she kind of perks up. But I have to wonder if she's actually concerned that Christian, her boyfriend, has literally passed away from this, or more concerned about the consequences for herself. Well, she was about to find out, because when police took her down to the Miami police station for questioning, her story was starting to sound hella f***ing sus. Again, right, yeah.
Hey, my mom on the phone, and I remember she was standing like against the couch. Like we were obviously it was a big deal at this point. Mm-hmm. This happened like over by the door and somehow moved like over in the living room. We were standing by the couch, facing toward the kitchen, and I was in the kitchen. And then he just I could see like all the whites in his eyes, and he was like coming at me. And so I grabbed one of these knives. My mom got me for Christmas. I grabbed one of them. I grabbed a knife and I said, don't come anywhere closer to me. I had absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom, and he's coming at me like he's gonna grab either the phone or like the knife or something. And so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer. It's coming at me, and I threw it. And I meant for it to go.
How far away was he?
Well, I was by my fridge, and he was like by the edge of one of the chairs of the sofa.
You were by the fridge, and he was by the couch?
Yes, I was in front of the fridge. He was by the couch.
Yes, and then
behind my island.
And then what kind of movements did he make at the moment? He was gonna walk
running
up?
At me.
Running? Okay.
Well, charging, aggressively walking, something.
What was he doing? Like, was he doing something with his hands, or?
When he had his hands up. I couldn't tell you.
So remember what I said about coercive control, how Courtney had a way of manipulating Christian to make sure that she was always in control of him, like constantly attacking him, belittling him, stabbing him, using the slurs against him, not coming to the hospital, but also to keep him begging for her attention and like hitting him so hard with a phone that he was likely concussed, and then forcing him to sleep on the floor. You can't come out until I say you can. Remember all of that? Well, their fight that night allegedly began when Courtney asked Christian to share his location with her as yet another way of keeping tabs on him. A classic coercive control technique, monitoring your victim's activity and knowing, where they are at all times and controlling it. So she says that after Christian allegedly threw her to the ground, which of course we don't know what happened there. We do see the track record, the history of her going at him and him being the stick figure. If there was a throwing to the ground, was she attacking him? Was that his self-defense to get her off? These are all the questions that are going to be asked, right? So she says she's on the ground, and then she allegedly picked up a knife as if she was an expert knife thrower, I guess, and threw it at him from 10 feet away, and somehow miraculously the kitchen knife stabbed him in a downward direction. However, the medical examiner later ruled that the knife wound was the cause of his death, but that the injury couldn't have been caused by a knife thrown, from so far away. In other words, Courtney literally stabbed Christian at close range, and it was in this kind of downward direction. Was he on the ground already? I don't know, but the question, the police are gonna have is like, why the would you lie about throwing a knife, Courtney? Why would you lie about that? If this is self-defense, why are you lying about the most important details? Now, at the start of the interview, Courtney repeatedly asked if she could speak with Christian before telling her side of the story. And I'm guessing this was not only to gaslight and manipulate Christian into covering for her, but also probably, maybe, likely to threaten him the way we had seen her do in previous messages. I dare you to tell what happened. I dare you. Remember, you only move when I say you do. That's the energy that it's giving, and on our limited knowledge. And the thing is, Christian will never be able to tell his side of the story here. Yeah.
We have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not real, right? Okay. There's a Christian died? Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Sure. Yeah.
No.
Calm down.
I need to hug my mom.
So Christian's passing occurred on a Sunday. So the medical examiner's office wasn't open, meaning that his family wasn't notified until Monday, a day later. And when I tell you the absolute awful, most heartbreaking way that his dear mother had to find out,
Yes, I was at work, and the lady said that she's calling to know if I'll give them the permission for Toby to donate his organs. And I'm like, what? Donate what? I told her, I said, ma'am, I don't understand what you're saying. And she asked me, are you saying that the medical examiner's office has not contacted you? And that was on Monday. I gave my sister the number to call, and that's how we got to know that Toby was killed. The way the news came to me was very, very inhuman and devastating.
I have no words. I legitimately watched that and I have no words. All I can do is hope that his family will be able to find some ounce or shred, or I don't know, a little sliver of peace or a healing at the end of this. It's hard, and Courtney's lying about throwing knives. So all we could do is let's call some attention to this, because we already see the narratives running wild about that's impossible. This young, pretty white girl couldn't have done anything bad. And it's oh, no. Let's not run with those narratives. Let's get the facts here, and let's make sure that we keep the details front and center, and the history of the relationship kind of front and center, the messages that had been sent, the things that she did before, the things you see on the tape, the hospital bills. Let's make sure that we keep that front and center and not just run with it because she's more petite in the situation. Now, unfortunately, the lack of respect for the grieving family is just another misstep in a long line of in this case. So Courtney was arrested and posted bail the next day, but Courtney couldn't get away from the court of public opinion. And in the days following the arrest, she was spotted at a bar with what appears to be her father and other patrons that confronted her until they left.
You mind not typing, sir? Yeah, what? Let's all videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just know my boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah. He's right to you. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Honestly, unless some bombshell info comes out about this, currently I don't feel much sympathy at all for Courtney. Again, my opinion is entitled to change if more information comes out, but it is hard. Again, we weren't there, we don't know, but it is hard to look at the whole phone call, ring police. I'd like a restraining order thing after everything that she's done to him and the track record. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What we do know is that fame from the OnlyFans is what Courtney Courtney wanted, and fame or infamy is what she is getting. And obviously, her parents were here to support her through the eventual trial. And when I say support her, I mean, ready for this twist? Commit a whole ass felony.
We have new developments in the OnlyFans model murder case against defendant Courtney Clenney. Her parents have now also been arrested in connection with the case.
Investigators say they have uncovered text messages from Courtney Clenney's parents, you see them right there, discussing hacking the victim's laptop after he died.
Text messages are allegedly between Courtney Clenney's parents and her attorney. Prosecutors accuse Courtney and her parents of tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice.
And so you're charged with computer offenses.
Clenney also faces the same charge. She appeared Wednesday in bond court.
Clearly, what they did was illegal.
Yeah, really? Now, police pulled up to Kim and Deborah Clenney's house, her parents, in Austin, and told them that they were also now under arrest for involvement in Courtney's case. I'm just like, what the are you thinking?
Yeah, it's.
And it's felony in in Florida, apparently.
Think they're out to persecute us?
Maybe.
Well.
Twist our arm. It's probably arm twisting.
So almost 2 years later, various court proceedings are finally underway, although there's been a huge back and forth between the prosecution and defense and many delays, which has pissed the defense off quite a bit. There's been some strange things, some different, it's what you would expect from basically a court and all of these things in a case like this. But the charges against Courtney and her parents for accessing Christian's device were eventually dropped, but she was still on the hook for second-degree murder. Yeah, second degree, not first, which I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Like, I know we don't have a lot of information right now, but do you, just if you were to just purely speculate, just pure speculation here, nothing to be taken as fact, do you think there was any chance of this being premeditated? Meaning, you know, just, did she plan, even if it was just moments before, because premeditation can just be like moments before you planned to do something to cause death, right? Do you think that there was any chance that this was premeditated? Do you think it was like something in the moment? Or do you think this was self-defense? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you want me to do an update on this story once it actually goes to trial, if it actually goes to trial. It could be a long time. I have no idea what's gonna happen here. So, as this case stands right now, who do you think's in the cesspool? Courtney? Christian? No one? Leave your thoughts in the comments, but hang tight because there is one more kind of twist to this very awful story. One thing that we know, DV can take a lot of forms, right? Emotional, financial, physical abuse, and in this case, it was a deadly combination of all three. Anyone of any gender is capable of perpetuating DV, but Courtney Clenney, again, is a 5'8" white woman, allegedly repeatedly attacking a muscular 6-foot-tall black man. So the optics of the situation seem like a big factor in what allowed the abuse, if that's what was going on, to continue to such an outrageous degree, in my current opinion. Not to mention that, especially in America, you know, again, a black man like Christian might think twice about calling the police for help if they, you know, even would have taken him seriously at all. I didn't even really take Courtney seriously, so I don't even know what to think about that. Christian doesn't have to be a perfect victim, though, and we, of course, don't have the full details about what happened at every moment of the relationship or the night of his murder, but one thing is for sure, Courtney's defense team is holding very tight to self-defense, and again, because from what we know, there aren't witnesses, so what else are they going to say? While Christian's family is concerned, they're genuinely, legitimately concerned that because he was a black man, their son won't get fair consideration as a victim, and I do think, sadly, that is a fair concern for them to have. If something turns out he did some heinous stuff that we just don't know about, everyone still deserves a fair trial. Courtney deserves a fair trial, which means she shouldn't get special privileges or treatment because of her color. Just like, even though he's not here, Christian deserves that fairness as well, right? I mean, nothing is fair as his life is taken, but you know what I mean. Like, here's the other thing, the other twist to this. There is a long history of witnesses to Courtney's violence. There are many text messages from her admitting fault and Christian pleading for grace and mercy, literally after being harmed many times. And Christian wasn't her first alleged victim either. Yeah. about that. We know that Courtney has a history of drug use and violence, and I don't just mean with Christian. She allegedly hurt other partners in the past. Bodybuilder Nick Trigilli posted a YouTube video where he claimed that back in 2017, she was romantically involved with Sean Roden, a Jamaican bodybuilder who formerly held the title of Mr. Olympia. Yeah, that's a huge, massive title. And he alleged that in one altercation between them, she allegedly hit him with an uppercut that shattered Mr. Olympia's jaw. Now, I do have to note that Nick's YouTube channel has since been completely terminated and obliterated by the platform. I didn't even look into see why, and Sean, unfortunately, the man who allegedly had his jaw shattered by Courtney, has also since passed away, so we can't currently verify these claims. I don't know if there were witnesses, I don't know if there were medical records, but Courtney's taste in men definitely says a lot to me. And remember the whole fetishization thing that I touched upon earlier? Literally just weeks before the murder, Courtney went on the We in Miami podcast and stated that she only dates rich black guys, and she also agreed with the statements that she was toxic and a control freak.
I'm Courtney Taylor, and I do OF for a living.
OnlyFans. You got like 1 million followers or something?
2 million.
Damn. You look like the type of girl that only dates like rich guys. Is that true?
No, that's not true. I only date black guys. Especially black guys. Especially black guys. Let me clarify. I only date rich black guys.
Rich black guys. There we go.
That statement is interesting for a number of reasons, but let's start with the fact that, again, she was actually the one holding the financial power in the relationship and the employer, and wasn't willing to pay Christian for the labor that he put into her business as an influencer, allegedly. So it's possible that Christian felt he wasn't even able to leave the relationship while his financial stability and housing arrangements were so closely tied to Courtney. We see that a lot. But at one point, does having a type cross the line into some type of fetishization? She made some interesting comments on the We in Miami podcast about wanting a black man to be in charge of her in the bedroom, but for her to be in charge everywhere else. And wow, did she really exemplify that in the messages that we've seen and the witness statements so far. So who really held the power in this relationship? I have many thoughts. I've expressed a lot of them. Let me know yours in the comments, but either way, at the end of the day, sadly, no matter how this plays out, Courtney will always have the last word. And so because of that, I'm going to read something that I think might give maybe some more insight into Christian's perspective. Now, remember that excerpt that I read from a long text that Christian had sent to Courtney? It was very sad. When you think about it now, I'll read that last bit. Quote, "Just letting you know, I woke up feeling like and feeling stupid. Not like stupid as in our relationship, but stupid as in like what I told you the other day. Is love going to kill me? I always think about, damn man, okay, Christian, you took all this. Why? Because you love her. Okay, time after time after time after time, I tell you, hey, please, like you're hurting me. And yes, you'll say yeah, but then it just repeats. Like what if the knife sliced my lip and it wasn't sliced by my beard, my cheek, my eye? What might happen next time? I pray there is no next time like that." Heartbreaking, right? Knowing now that there was a next time like that, and the next time took his life. Now, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but there was a love letter that he wrote to Courtney, which reads in part, "Baby, you are the recipe when I'm stuck in the toughest situations and the only person I want to share my life with." And then Christian tells Courtney to listen to a song that reminds him of her called My Personal Sunset by Miles Carter, which I can't play this song because of YouTube, but here are some of the lyrics just to give you a glimpse into what I can only maybe speculate, maybe guess might have been where Christian's heart was in spite of what he was living through behind closed doors. If he was a victim, and I currently, like, that's the way it looks. I think that he was, and I think this ended so tragically. It reminds me so much of the love and the pain that so many victims and survivors have for their abusers, where their abusers don't deserve their love at all, but get it anyways, because victims and survivors are so much more human than the abusers ever will be. So here's the lyrics. "If we're being honest, I'm obsessed with the sky. When I look at sunsets, I wonder how satisfied God must feel after painting them. And when I think about God, I think about how everything in our world functions as half to a whole. Through days and nights, or men and women, I wonder if God split itself into a million halves just to re-find itself again. So when I think about refining oneself, I think about the day I found you, the half to my whole, skin like gold. You smile when I tell you there are no sunsets that could take my gaze off you, my personal sunset. I have been told I have a tendency to love hard, so I'll try to love you gently. I'll wait for you to find yourself on days when mirrors don't reflect familiar faces. I'll be peace, the kind you can rest your head, knowing I'll still be here in the morning. I'll be careful because I know the past hasn't treated you as well as our future will. If I'm being honest, I always find myself trying to find myself. I'm not confident every day, so I hope it means more when I confidently say I love you. I struggle with insecurities. I won't project this onto you. I will not make it your duty to show me how to love myself. I only ask that you love me in the way you do. Honestly, I'm obsessed with the sky, but I look at you and wonder how satisfied God must feel having painted something more beautiful than sunsets. I can only hope that, again, with the limited information that we have, assuming that Christian was in fact the victim of DV that took his life, I can only hope that he's able to view endless sunsets now, far more beautiful than anything possible on earth, and that justice is served no matter how difficult, and that for his family, his memory is a blessing. Okay, Suspirians, time to step out of the dark waters of the Suspool. That was a heavy one. It was way heavier than I anticipated going into the research, and then I was like, you know what? I feel like this story should be told. More people should hear about this. Unfortunately, I think a lot of times too, when there were stories where there are victims of color, they don't get told or heard a lot. And so here we are. We're talking about this, but here's a little palate cleanser to just we need that to kind of unwind from the heaviness. So go ahead, grab a towel and dry off. That's what I got. If you want to hear more stories like this, or if you want to go back to like the Karen stories and the more creepy, bizarre stories, then be sure to subscribe to this channel and go ahead and tickle that like button for more. And let me know in the comments if you have any stories that you would like me to specifically dip into. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, link below. That's where I post most often, and also announce opportunities to have your thoughts featured in my deep dives. I have a brand new full deep dive Swoop documentary out on my main channel, Swoop. It is linked below and pinned in the top comment. As always, I highly recommend that you watch after this. Also, you can grab your very own pieces from the Valid Ribcage and Valid Social Club collection in the Peta University shop, linked below as always. I really know that you're gonna love these pieces, and stay tuned for the first official Suspool apparel coming soon. Been working on that for a very long time, so I can't wait to finally drop that for all of you to be able to grab. Be sure to check out Helix Sleep for incredible sleep every night. Their Labor Day sale is running now. It's the perfect time to upgrade your sleep with 25% off a Helix mattress. Click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/swoop2 to find out more about this limited time offer, and treat yourself, honey. You deserve it. Thanks for coming for a swim. Have a good day out there. Keep it creepy, keep it cute, keep it safe, and I'll see you next time in the Suspool. Swoop!